Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the second episode of the podcast. I'm your host, Josiah Santiago, and we got a very special guest today. Once again, you guys know him. He's the guy who has music. You can follow him. He has to keep pushing music on his audio, and he's got other stuff. So it's none other than Jermaine Martinez. Welcome back to the show, bro.
Welcome back. I'm glad to be here, guy.
Yeah, all right, man. It's good to have you here. I'm so glad you're here. We got some things to talk about today, and I'm just glad you're here, man. This is the second episode of our podcast, dude.
Already?
Yeah, cause like I don't know, like I did this like 3 months ago, maybe longer than that, but all right. Well, thank you for coming as always,
No
and
problem. No problem.
all right. So today we're gonna be talking about one of my favorite martial arts show. Have you heard of the show called Cobra Kai?
Yes, I heard you talk about it.
Yeah, we've been talking. I'll be talking to Sensei all the time about it, and sometimes that he won't understand what in the world I'm even saying. But I'm glad that brings me to today's episode. So make sure if you guys want to see more episodes of the podcast, I don't know how many episodes I plan on doing, but this is the second episode. So as always, like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, you ready to get into it, bro?
Go ahead.
All right, man. All right, so what I got this paper right in front of you guys, it's what I'm supposed to talk about. So, how the Sekai Takai ended in a tie. First of all, do you know what the Sekai Takai is?
That sounds like some Chinese stuff.
Well, yeah. So he's half right. Anyway, so the Sekai Takai is a fictional globe world karate tournament, and that was founded somewhere in the years 1940 and the 1950s. It was there way longer before any of us were over here. And so yeah, this is basically like a tournament for all the world's best fighters to see who's the best out of the best. And I think I don't know how many teams there are exactly, but this is basically the students fighting. So this is how it works. In this timeline for the Sekai Takai, the students who are the best fighters get to wear the captain headband with the letter C logo. If you are the best fighter, like there's one female captain and you got a male captain. Those are the best fighters, and that's the ones with the headbands on. The other fighters, you get to pick like six other teammates with you. So six teammates from each dojo. You can't bring everybody at once because they won't allow it.
Cool.
So season 6, episode 10 was one of the most craziest episodes in history. So if you haven't known what happened, I'll explain it. If you guys are seeing this and this is spoilers, I will not be watching this video if I were you. Go watch Cobra Kai now and then come see this video. So anyway, Cobra Kai season 6, episode 10 was one of the most intense and insane episodes ever, and I'm gonna explain why. So Zara Malik, the female captain in Iron Dragons, in real life, the actress who plays her is Raina Vallingham. She's actually a martial artist in real life, and she has a fourth degree black belt, and she's won the championship of Taekwondo 13 times. She started training since she was 2 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Zara Malik was fighting Maria Alvarez. She's from Furia de Pantera, and her dojo, Maria's from Furia de Pantera. That's the dojo. And Zara Malik, her dojo is from the Iron Dragons, the strongest dojo.
Where is that dojo?
Oh, it's not real because you won't be able to find it. It only exists in the show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so anyway, the semifinals start, right? So they will start fighting. Maria will have a lot of trouble trying to land some points. The thing is, she didn't land a single hit. So after the semifinals ends, Zara ends up winning the match with a score of 11-0. So after the girls' match ends, the second semifinals, right? It will be Axel Kovacevic. He's the male captain for the Iron Dragons, led by Sensei Wolf. I forgot to tell you the sensei's name. And let me tell you something. Axel is really aggressive, and what I'm about to say next, I might regret it. But anyway, so Axel will be fighting Robbie Keane in this timeline in the semifinals. The two will start bowing to each other for some degree of respect, and then the fighting stance begins and they start fighting. So Robbie, of course, will be on defense, but he's actually on offense because Axel is a tank, which means he literally can't get hurt by anything. So Robbie's afraid, and Axel takes his arm and yanks his arm and gives him the first punch in the stomach for the first point. And then Robbie was really afraid, so Axel was throwing back-to-back punches on the stomach, which is like four. He landed four hits, and then he gave him a good, clean blow in the face, making him bleed. I saw blood shoot out of his face,
Wow.
and it gets worse. So Daniel will tell Robbie, be on defense, defend yourself. So Robbie does that. He starts blocking, and Axel scored 5 points on Robbie. In case you didn't know what the scoreboard was, it was 5-0.
Man, that's a blowout.
That is a blowout, right? Anyway, so it was 5-0. Robbie was blocking. Of course, Axel was frustrated, and he grapples him in front of everyone watching. He was taunting him, saying, "Okay, so you're gonna keep defending, or so are you going to fight?" So Axel pushes Robbie to Cobra Kai team, and this is where you will introduce this next character, which is Quan. Quan Jae Sung is another character from the Cobra Kai in real life. The actor who plays him is Brandon H. Lee, which he's really skilled in martial arts too. That guy knows how to kick, bro. He really does. Anyway, that's besides the point. The point is, Quan gave him an elbow shot to the stomach, which was a cheap shot. And Miguel's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And Chosen is like, "What is going on?" So Miguel goes to confront Quan, and Axel shoves Miguel on the floor for no reason. Of course, Miguel gets up, he gets mad, and he's like, "What is wrong with you?" And Robbie confronts Quan, saying like, "You had no right to do that. I dare you to do that again." And he's like, "Try again, hit me." And Quan is like, "I'm right here, dude, hit me." So Gunther Braun comes in, the guy who's the host for the whole tournament. He's like, "Guys, stop fighting, or else I'm gonna have to eliminate all three of you from the competition." But Sensei Ivanov, the guy he was disqualified before this even started. I know I can't say stuff like this on YouTube. Hopefully they don't take my video down. But the Tiger Strike that's led by Sensei Ivanov, do you know what happened? Before they read the results, their whole entire dojo was eliminated because 4 out of 6 students were tested positive for bringing drugs to the tournament.
Man,
Yeah, and that's why they cheated. And I was like, I thought it was Terry Silver, and his face was like, "What? I didn't do it this time." Okay, so this is where it gets worse. So the Sekai Takai brawl begins, and everyone will start fighting, and it will be out of control, and that would mean the senseis will have to fight each other too. And I'm gonna skip to the end. So Axel and Quan were the last two fighting, and then Quan picks up a knife and he tries to attempt to kill Axel with it. Well, this is where it gets even worse. So he tries doing a triple kick, and Axel's just too fast to react because he's stronger. Because Quan is the fourth strongest, and Daniel's like, "Quan, no, don't do this," and I'm like, "It's already too late." So Quan and Axel both jump in the air. Quan is doing a spinning kick trying to knock Axel out, and of course, Axel knocks Quan off balance. He ends up falling on the knife and dies right there. Yeah, I know, dude. I was screaming. I was like, "Oh my god, what happened?" So after that, he actually dies. Now this is where we get started. Now, guys, how does the Sekai Takai end in a tie? Robbie Keane will have a rematch with Axel, which means Axel won by 11-6, and Axel cheated in the tournament because he took out Robbie's leg and broke it.
man.
And this is where, since Quan was dead and Tori was the only female fighter for Cobra Kai, Miguel had to come in and step in to take Quan's place as captain for Cobra Kai. So season 6, episode 14, Strike Last. So this is how it goes. So Tori and Zara will start fighting first. So Zara will start trash talking Tori about some random stuff, saying, "Oh, thank you for helping me blow up my followers. Like seriously, no one cares about your little followers. Like
Nobody care about that.
yeah, I don't care about that. Like people like to do that. They like flashy likes just for no reason. Anyway, so the fight starts. Tori is unfocused and she's distracted because she's letting what Zara's saying into her get in her head. And because of that, Zara scored 5 points, 5-0 in the first round.
Yeah.
So the second round, Tori comes in fully focused. She knocks down Zara, scoring 43 points, 43-5, which means Cobra Kai had 112 points. So we add 43, which Cobra Kai is closing the gap on the Iron Dragons. The score is now 155-165. Now this time it's Miguel's turn to fight. So Miguel fights Axel in the finals, and in the first round, Axel was unfocused. So Miguel actually ended up winning the first round. He scored 5 points. It was 5-0 in the first round. So Axel comes back in the second round. He knocks down Miguel with a knockdown, which is 10 points. So Axel took the lead. It was 15-5. Now the third round, Miguel comes back. Oh, I forgot to tell you, the score was 160-165. So Axel knocks down Miguel with 15 points. Now the score is 180-160.
Wow.
So in the third round, Miguel makes a comeback. He scores 10 points. And then Miguel successfully lands the tornado kick and knocks Axel down, giving him a knockdown with 10 extra points. So this time, Miguel scores 20 points, and now the score will be 180-180. So of course, Johnny, Robbie, Tori, Kenny, Anthony, Hawk, Miguel's mom, his grandma, Daniel Chosen, and his girlfriend Sam come to celebrate with Miguel. So Gunther, the guy who's the host of the Sekai Takai, congratulates both Miguel and Tori for winning their boys and girls champion world titles. Now, this is where it gets the best part. Gunther now gets to choose who the winner is. Who do you think won? Iron Dragons or Cobra Kai? You take a guess.
Cobra Kai.
Well, Gunther says he cannot say who won. Here's why. He said because for the first time in the world of the Sekai Takai's karate world history, the Sekai Takai has ended in a tie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, what's impossible? So here's the current standings. So Iron Dragons 180 and Cobra Kai 180 for the current standings. So what this basically means is that Gunther explains that there will be a tiebreaker match, which means one more match will be determined. Who wins will be determined by one final match between the dojos. But this time, it's not the students who are going to fight. The senseis are going to fight. So Johnny versus Sensei Wolf now. So Sensei Wolf is using illegal tactics on Johnny and gives him illegal blows. First, he smacks him in the back of the head, and then he gives him a kick to the back of the head. So Sensei Wolf scores the first 2 points. Now the score is 182-181. Well, 182-180. Now Daniel gets mad at Johnny and tells him to focus. So Johnny comes back and scores the first point. Now the score is 182-181. Now for the second point, Johnny does a spin kick on Sensei Wolf, scoring the second point. Now the score becomes 182-182.
Oh, like this spin kick you be doing.
Yeah, something like that. Now Johnny sweeps the leg. He does a kip up, and he gives a back fist, a clean back fist on Sensei Wolf, knocking him down. So Johnny scores the third and final point, and Johnny becomes the winner of the tiebreaker match, which means Cobra Kai wins the tournament 183-182. So Cobra Kai is grand champion. So that's basically it for this episode, guys. Jermaine, what do you think? Insane, huh?
I think it was great, bro.
All right, guys. Well, that includes today's episode. Hey, thanks for coming on, man. Pleasure to have you.
No problem, bro.
All right, bro. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be reading down the comments. Whoever replies first, I'll pin down their comments. All right, guys. Until next time, Josiah is out of here. Bye, guys.